This is one of the age-old questions people love to ask, to question God's character. Why do bad things happen? Well, Scripture gives us some reasons why trials happen. And the first one is to test the strength of our faith. Trials test a believer's faith. Is it real? Does it have value? Does it have depth? Is it usable for the kingdom? I mean, a faith that gets upset at God every time something bad happens is not a type of faith that is ready to preach the gospel to the nations. There's a lot of talk in the church today about destiny and purpose and your journey to greatness and the plan that God has for your life. And honestly, it bothers me quite a great deal. I believe it's today's modern prosperity movement. People have sort of kind of figured out that the whole message, give money to the church and more money will show up in your life. They've kind of figured out that that's sort of a scam. And so now what they've done is, hey, come to this church and subscribe to our ways, and we'll help you find that dream that God has put you in the driver's seat on. And it just sort of gets people right. Now, does God have a plan for our lives? Of course He does. He has a wonderful plan for our life that He has marked out since the beginning of time. He had a wonderful plan for Paul's life. He got his head cut off. He had a wonderful plan for Peter's life. He got crucified upside down. He had a wonderful plan for the author of this book's life, James. He got thrown off the top of the building and then stoned and hit in the head with a billy club. But it was still a wonderful plan. It didn't end great in terms of the world, but it was still a wonderful plan that was proclaiming the kingdom and advancing God's plan in this world. So, sir, God has a wonderful plan for your life, but that doesn't mean it's going to look all roses and it's going to look amazing. And it doesn't look like the American dream, just put in Christian language. It is a wonderful plan, but we trust God. And that wonderful plan, I guarantee you, will include trials. Trials of various kind. And so I'm not sure what God has planned for all of us in this room. God knows. He's predestined it since the beginning of time. But I do know that He wants to use us, and He can't use someone that hasn't been tried. They're not tough. They don't have endurance. Their faith hasn't been tested. If a person has a genuine saving faith, it doesn't mean that they are perfect or that they will approach and face all of their trials perfectly, but it does mean that they will survive any trial that comes their way with their faith intact. Genuine saving faith comes from God. It cannot be destroyed. It can be tested, but it will always be victorious. So if a person is tested and they come out with their faith intact, then we know it's genuine because it's been put through the fire, it's been refined. But if a person comes outside of a trial and their faith is not intact, it's a good sign that the faith that they proclaimed to have was merely by the profession of their mouth, and it wasn't real to begin with. When a person has an empty profession of faith, the fires of troubles and trials of this life will burn it up. It will not withstand the test of this world.